name is Madison, and today I'll be talking about ebooks versus printed books and their use in schools. Lots of people prefer printed books to ebooks just because of the sentimental values that come along with an actual printed book. But there are lots and lots of reasons that ebooks are better than printed books, especially when they are being used in schools. Currently, schools are starting to make the transition from printed books to ebooks, with about 66% of schools in the U.S. now offering ebooks. This is a growing number, already up 12% from 2013 when it was at 54%. The major hurdle stopping schools from doing this is the financial cost of buying the devices to use these ebooks on. Later on, we'll take a look at how the cost advantages of using ebooks can offset the cost of these devices, like iPads, Nooks, and so on. But first, let's look at the environmental concerns that ebooks can solve. The school book industry is about an $8 billion industry that produces over 2 million school books every year. These 2 million school books use 32 million trees to make. If you stop and think about that, 32 million trees is an insane number of trees used solely to make textbooks. Imagine saving even a fourth of those trees. Ebooks could save all of them, and saving a fourth of those trees would be saving 8 million trees, which would go a long way in helping our environment. Turning these trees into paper is even worse than just cutting down the trees to begin with. Pulp and paper is the third largest industry that pollutes air, water, and land in the United States and releases over 100 million kilograms of toxic pollution each year. Nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon dioxide are all made during the process of making paper. Nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide are major contributors of acid rain, whereas CO2, or carbon dioxide, is a major greenhouse gas that's responsible for climate change. Being able to stop some of this pollution by cutting back on paper production by using ebooks in schools would be an amazing gain. Aside from the environmental benefits of using ebooks in schools, there are cost benefits. Now, earlier I mentioned that cost is a big holdback for schools because they're having to buy the devices that students can then use the ebooks on, but the cost benefits of using ebooks far outweighs the cost of the devices. One of the ways that schools could save is by simply manufacturing costs. There is no physical book that has to be made in a factory at high costs, and an ebook is all digital and therefore way less to make than a regular printed book. Right now, if a school wants to buy, let's say, 2,600 math books, it would cost around $182,000 for those 2,600 books. Where if they bought the ebook version, it would only cost about $15,000 for those 260 math books. And these savings go for all books. 247 English books would be around $164,000, while the ebook version would be around $37,000. This is a major savings for all schools that use ebooks. Some of the benefits that come along with using ebooks is the cloud syncing. This way, a book will never get lost. You will never have worn out books. You will never have ruined books. All books are reusable. You can also highlight in books. You can put in footnotes. You can draw on your book. You can do whatever you want. And once a student is done with the book, all you have to do is click a button and it just wipes the book clean. Many books come with dictionaries built in so that if a student doesn't understand the meaning of a word or wants to know more about a word, say they click on the word George Washington, it'll bring up a web page telling them all about George Washington. So this is really helpful in letting students fully understand what they are reading. You can also make the font size larger or even have a book that reads out loud to you. This is beneficial to students that have sight disabilities or learning disabilities. Finally, you never have to wait for shipping. You can simply click the button, purchase the book anywhere, and it just downloads right to your device. So there's no waiting time for the physical book to be shipped to you. Overall, ebooks could save 32 million trees, save schools thousands and thousands of dollars on textbooks, and help students learn with an interactive platform that they are familiar with. The benefits are countless, and more schools are seeing this. One good way to help is to just support your school. Vote yes for ebooks and grants that might help your school purchase the devices necessary to use ebooks. And talk to your school board and just encourage them to take the next step in making ebooks available for all students. I got my information from Wikipedia, paper pollution, ebooks versus printed books, the 21st century debate, the reading brain in the digital age, the science of paper versus screens. Thank you.